Hi everybody, my name's Steve, I'm the British Railroader and welcome to the Model Railway Room. Firstly, I'd like to apologise, I've not been around for about a month. Part of that was because I was on holiday. I went to a beautiful Greek island which sadly, if you've seen the news, suffered some really nasty floods just after we got back home. Whilst I was there, I did have a little look, but none of the Greek islands have railways, so there was nothing that I could really film. And since I got back, about 2 days after I got back, I went down with the dreaded COVID and have spent the last week in bed, coughing, spluttering, and feeling generally quite crap. So this is really the first opportunity I've had where I felt well enough and have had the time to be able to put a video together. But what I've got for you today is just a very short update. You will have seen a little bit of footage of a train going around going backwards and forwards on the layout. The coaches you will have seen before, but the locomotive is new, and we'll have a little look at that in a minute down on the workbench. But first, let's go over to the layout just for a quick update on a video I made about a month or so ago. So a few of you might remember about a month ago, I put out a video asking for some advice about whether or not I should put a fence back here. And as you can see, following that advice, I have. Most people said put a fence. A couple of people said no. One person quite rightly said, when he goes through the Midwest and through the prairies, you never see fences. And that was my dilemma, because I knew that bit, but cities are quite often very different. My good friend Gary, who you guys will know on here as Gaz3801, sent me a link to a video about the New York and New Jersey Railroad and their street running through New York, which was really helpful because it kind of gave me a lot of atmosphere that I was looking for. What I've done is, so I've put the Woodland Scenics fencing in here. As you can see, goes all the way along. What will please Gary is I put a washing line over there. That's a little bit of a work in progress. Some of you might notice some very ghostly green things just sitting by the buildings. I just put these over here. These are 3D printed dumpsters and dustbins and dustbin bags, and also some very nice 3D printed manhole covers, which will be fitted onto the road at some point. I got these on eBay and I think they came from China. I will try and find the link for you and put it in the description below. I will also put in the description below the link to the video from the New York and New Jersey Railway. So I went with the fencing. Now, one thing that I would like to say to the people at Woodland Scenics, if you're watching. So your packs of fencing, which something's just dropped out of that, but that doesn't matter, come like that. And they come with lots of middle pieces. the same number of end pieces, but the problem is two of them have got gates on. And if you want to do a long stretch like that, I needed to buy 2 packs. And I've still got lots of middle pieces and lots of gates left, but no end pieces. So can you get your act together and give us, the same amount of end pieces as middle pieces and just have the gates as extra? That would be really, really great. Anyway, let's get down onto the workbench and have a look at my new loco. Okay, what we have here is an Atlas Classic RS1. So by classic, this is using some of the older mouldings that they have, which means that if you look here on the end, whilst they're very fine, these are moulded on grab irons, sorry. They're not separate pieces. Also down here on the I can't think of the word. I want to call it the buffer beam, which is completely the wrong terminology, but I'm sure you know what I mean. But there's no hose detail. There's no cut bar detail. Everything is very basic. But that's what they advertise them as. They advertise them as, quite bargain basement kind of locos. I've been after a classic Long Island Railroad loco for a little while now. Sometimes RS3s come up, and I believe there's one on eBay which is a lot more detailed, but also comes with sound and is therefore consequently a lot more expensive. This little one, getting a bit of dust on it already, cost me under £50, which was a bit of a bargain. Yes, it is basic detail. You look at the trucks and whatever, everything is all molded detail. But actually, I think it looks quite good. I think, especially for the money that I've paid for it, it was a bit of a bargain. The only thing I've done with it at the moment is change the couplers so that these are KDs rather than the Atlas Accumate, which I don't particularly like. It is not, I've not fitted a DCC chip to it because it is not DCC ready. I've taken the body off and there is basically a circuit board, and that's it, with light bulbs. And I've looked at it, I've measured it up. A Soundtrack Tsunami PMP8 would fit perfectly in there. There's space for 2, where I could fit 2 micro speakers, the little tiny sugar cube ones that I use, one at this end and one at this end. Then they can all be wired in. I'd have to replace the light bulbs with LEDs, but that's no problem. So it would actually be a very, very easy conversion if it weren't for one thing. My usual supplier of Soundtrack's chips doesn't have a PMP8 with Alco sounds. I know. Incredible. How many Alco modelers do you think there actually are in the UK? But anyway, once they've got one in stock or I can find one elsewhere, I will get one, fit it. I might even do a video on how I fit it, and then we can get this little beauty up and running. At the moment, one of the good things about my layout is if I unplug all of the DCC controller, power wires, etc., I can just clip on an ordinary DC controller and basically play with DC control trains to my heart's content. So there we go. That's my new loco. I quite like it. I think it looks the part. Obviously, it'll need a bit of weathering. Any loco does, but we'll wait until I've got her chipped before I do that. But it does mean that I can indulge myself in the odd piece of slightly more classic rolling stock than the modern image stuff that I use on the layout. Okay, so one last update for this video, and we're going to be looking at the track that I have here on the layout. Now you can see here that this track is now ballasted. So the long-running gag between me and my friend Gary about the fact that I am the world's slowest ballaster can no longer be used. But admittedly, I'm a very slow modeler. I can't help that. But what you'll notice is that from here onwards, it's only very lightly weathered. That's because it's just received a dirty wash actually, I think I might have used Game Workshop Nuln Oil, but from here onwards, it's dirtier. And I've created this effect using weathering powders and then holding them in place just with hairspray. Now, a few people commented about this when I posted it on Facebook saying, oh, you shouldn't use hairspray. Oh, no, good, no good. And, you know, there are some people who will tell you that, oh, paint won't stick to it and all that kind of thing, but I really don't care. I found it works for me. I've never had any problems with it. At this stage in the game, this area, it's groundwork, you know. What I do need to do is put some bits in between here and here. I'm actually thinking of digging this out a little bit and making it into kind of, not a pond, but some kind of a big puddly type thing. One thing I have got over here, you can see there's one of the tyres painted yellow. I read an article, I think it might have been in Model Railroader, basically saying that you'll find on some sidings there'll be a mark. And basically, as long as the wagons and cars that are parked there don't go beyond that, then the train should be able to pass on there. And so that's what I've done. I just thought that was kind of just one of those nifty little details you can fill in. But there we go. Track, still a work in progress. I've still got all of that down there to weather. The siding at the back there, and also just under the into the factory, they haven't been ballasted yet, but that's because they're just going to be a little bit more fiddly because of the buildings, but they can wait until a lot later. But there you go. That is my track update. If you have any thoughts, then please post in the comments below. So that's it for this video. Short and sweet, which is I know is how a lot of you like it. Thank you for watching. Next week, I have got the Mid-Essex Model Railway Club's annual exhibition in Shenfield, so I will be doing a video from that. I will be trying out a little bit of a new format because I've had a lot of feedback from people saying that they don't like my musical extravaganzas, which is a shame because I quite like them, but you know, got to give the public what they want. So we'll have a little play with how I do shows in the future. But if you have any other comments, please put them in the box below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe. This is actually video number 98 according to YouTube, which means that next week's video from Shenfield will be number 99, which means that I will have an anniversary video coming up. So if anybody has any suggestions on things that they'd like to see, again, pop them in the comments below. But anyway, this is Steve, the British Railroader, saying goodbye for now from the Model Railway Room. Get my teeth in. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.